16 News at 9 starts now.
We begin with a breaking news update. Police in Pine Bluff trying to find whoever murdered a well-known businessman, then left his body inside a vacant apartment. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Kelly. Police tell us they got the call just after noon today to an apartment near the intersection of 10th Avenue and Hazel Street. Our Susan L. Corey went out there today. She joins us live in studio with more on what she's been able to learn about this case. Susan?
Well, Kevin, we know the apartment building this happened at was owned by the victim, and now police are trying to connect why someone went there to kill him.
I heard someone go pop, 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 pop.
Valerie Ross isn't used to hearing gunshots at her Pine Bluff apartment. But her 10th Ave home was on the wrong side of the tracks Monday. Someone murdered her landlord, 69-year-old Richard Ratliff.
He didn't bother nobody.
No one lives in the corner unit, where employees say their boss was supposed to be doing a showing.
And a co-worker came over here looking for him and found him in there in the tub.
Police say Ratliff died before help got there, and whoever did it ran off.
People do things for reasons we'll never comprehend or don't know why.
These workers now face a job they never imagined: cleaning up a crime scene.
To come and actually see it, it's kind of devastating.
Tasked with carrying an emotional burden that he calls a tragic reality of his city.
It's just shooting all the time. I don't know. Nobody talk. Nobody want to understand anything no more. It's just all about violence.
This time, taking the life of a landlord known for helping those down on their luck.
He was a nice guy.
At this point, police haven't released any suspect information. This all happened down the street from an elementary school, so they're hoping someone in the area may have noticed or heard something that could help.
You mentioned in your story that that Ratliff was going to be giving a showing potentially to somebody for the vacant apartment. Do we know if that person's been questioned by police?
Well, police are staying pretty tight-lipped on this one. If they do know who that was, they aren't saying it, but we do know that they haven't questioned any person of interest yet.
All right, keep us posted. Thanks, Susan. A Fort Worth white police officer now charged with murder following the deadly shooting of a black woman inside her home over the weekend. The woman's family now demanding outside forces take over the investigation into what happened. Here's what we know at this hour. Aaron Dean is being held at the Tarrant County Correction Center on a $200,000 bond. His arrest coming just hours after he resigned from the force. Dean is accused of shooting 28-year-old Tatiana Jefferson over the weekend. According to police, he was responding to a wellness check after a neighbor reported seeing her door open. Body cam footage shows Dean walking around the house and then up to a window when he is heard shouting, "Put your hands up, show me your hands." He fires his gun immediately.
It's beyond me to begin to understand what kind of police force responds to a wellness call with the equivalent of SWAT.
I have reached out to the Texas Rangers and we discussed that. However, at this point, they have not committed to anything. Bringing them in this late after the investigation started is not ideal for them.
Police say they have heard many calls from the community demanding a speedy investigation. Be sure to follow us on air and online for the latest on this case.
Now, weather to plan your day with Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin.
Some clouds around, but a pretty comfortable fall day out there. High temperatures for the most part in the lower 70s, although Little Rock not quite 70 degrees thanks to some persistent clouds around. 69 in Little Rock, temperatures in the low 70s south and also low to mid 70s north where there was a lot more sunshine today. Now temperatures across the state right now range from the upper 50s north to the mid 60s south, so pretty comfortable out there, but not as cool as it has been the last few nights. Also some showers beginning to move into parts of South Arkansas around the Camden area, starting to see some showers. El Dorado, Texarkana, some showers around, some clouds around central Arkansas, but not any rain, not yet anyway. That rain associated with a warm front that's moving northward, and that's going to spread some rain mainly into parts of South Arkansas for tomorrow morning. That rain could be locally heavy, especially from South Arkansas, say around Camden over towards Monticello and points southward, with more scattered showers across central Arkansas and not much north of I-40. Now as we go into the afternoon hours, we get a break from the showers, some clouds around for the afternoon, but then then some scattered showers and even an isolated thunderstorm redevelop as a cold front approaches, and that front is going to bring another shot of some cooler weather as we go into the middle of the week, and that's going to keep some fall chill in here. As we take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for tomorrow, starting off with some rain, especially across parts of South Arkansas, then some isolated showers for the afternoon, and then rain chances pick up a little bit more again as we get towards late afternoon and early evening hours as that cold front starts approaching. High temperatures in the 70s. We'll talk about that next cool down coming up in your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. The property manager of the Big Country Chateau appeared in front of a judge this afternoon after being cited for failing to properly maintain utilities. He told the judge he's not guilty.
We're doing everything we can to get the gas back on at the property.
People who live at the complex are beyond frustrated. They haven't had gas for nearly a month. But just last week, the city of Little Rock and code enforcement cited the manager, forcing him to show up in court today. Our Rochelle Turner joins us live with more on today's hearing and what happened. Rochelle.
Well, the manager didn't say much today at the court hearing besides that he is working very, very hard to get gas restored here at the complex. But earlier today, we saw crews working on this gas line right here. And this has been the exact same thing that's been going on the past 3 weeks because residents are still living without any gas. They told me today they're tired of taking cold showers and using hot plates to warm up meals. And now they're starting to get worried because the temperature is starting to drop.
I'm feeling very disappointed, very angry.
People leaving the Little Rock Environmental Court Monday upset.
We're not getting no answers. We still getting the runarounds.
Since September 16th, people at the Big Country Chateau apartments living without gas.
I have to pay $40 a day just to eat.
The complex owned by Integra Affordable Management based in Chicago. We spoke to the manager, Andrew Swankoski, after his court hearing. He pleaded not guilty for failing to install and maintain utilities at the complex.
We're hoping to get the entire property re-inspected by the end of this week and gas on by the end of this week. At this moment, the main line has passed, 5 buildings have passed, and we're calling for inspection on 2 additional buildings today.
I don't believe that. They've been saying that for the last month, that they're going to try to get it fixed.
I asked Swankoski what caused the gas to be shut off for so long.
These are issues that have to do with the piping themselves, and we're working through it with the contractors.
People at the complex tired of playing the waiting game.
Trying to run back and forth from house to house, getting kids prepared for school and hot baths and trying to basically get them situated, it's stressful.
Hoping the gas is restored soon.
It'll shock me if it come on this week. I doubt it very seriously because they're not doing anything to try to get it together.
Now, I did also ask Swankoski today why no one was answering the phone calls at the front office, and he told me that staff is there ready to answer any questions people may have. He's expected to be back in court on October 28th. Reporting live in Little Rock, I'm Rochelle Turner, Fox 16 News. Kevin, back to you.
Rochelle, you've been covering this story for weeks on end and have been out there dozens of times. Based on the people who live there, you've been talking to them and they've been telling you, hey, they've been paying for this gas that they're not receiving. Did you get a chance to ask the manager whether they're going to be compensated or reimbursed for something that they aren't receiving?
I did ask him that today after the hearing, and he told me that once the gas issue is resolved, they're going to work with people who live at the complex to try to compensate them for some of the problems.
A little bit of good news in the meantime. The wait game continues. All right, Rochelle, thank you so much. Appreciate the update. Good job. Turning now to a Fox 16 crime alert out of Little Rock, where an auto parts store was damaged in what appears to have been a burglary attempt. The Little Rock Police Department says it happened Sunday morning just before 3:30 at the O'Reilly's Auto Parts in West Markham. Officers were called after someone found a metal pipe on the ground next to a shattered window. Investigators did search the building but found no one inside. It's still unclear if anything was stolen, but if you know anything about this, be sure to call police. Arkansas State Police still trying to determine how a Greenbrier woman died after being found on the side of the interstate last weekend. Investigators are looking at a cleaning service van after the company's owner called to report that an employee believed it had hit something in that same location. State Police cannot comment about the investigation, but is pulling evidence from the van to see if it could be linked to the death of Monica Wood. In tonight's State of the Nation, it now appears prices on Chinese goods will not be jumping 25 to 30% in time for the holidays. President Trump says the U.S. and China have an outline for a trade deal, so he won't be imposing additional tariffs on Chinese imports, at least for now. Trevor Shirley reports.
Tell your wallet to rest easy. For now, tariff hikes set to happen tomorrow have been shelved after President Trump says trade talks with China are progressing.
We've come to a deal on intellectual property, financial services, a tremendous deal for the farmers.
But there's still a chance you could end up paying more in the middle of the Christmas shopping season. A tariff of 15% on $160 billion worth of Chinese goods is still possible in mid-December if a deal isn't reached before then.
This is like when you buy a building, you've reached an agreement to buy a building, and now you got to negotiate the contract.
On Monday, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said he's optimistic the U.S. and China will sign Phase 1 in the next few weeks.
We'll do what we need to do to get this concluded.
Yet despite the White House's optimism about the deal being signed by mid-November, not all Democratic lawmakers are on board. House Democrat Andre Carson said he's learned, quote, not to take these announcements as an indication of lasting progress on the issue. He said he wants to see a real agreement that provides economic stability. White House officials say it's just the details that need to be worked out.
This document is substantially done. We made a lot of progress.
But the Chinese say there's still substantial work ahead. In Beijing today, the Chinese Foreign Ministry says it hopes the U.S. can meet China halfway. Reporting in Washington, I'm Trevor Shirley.
Thousands of U.S. troops with the 2nd Armored Brigade arrived in the Netherlands today on their way to Eastern Europe, where they will support NATO. As part of the regular rotation, 3,500 troops, 85 tanks, and hundreds of support vehicles are now being transported from Fort Hood, Texas, through the Netherlands and Germany by railroad and river to Poland. The American presence is part of U.S. support for NATO in response to rising tensions between Western powers and Russia.
I think it's very important to be able to show how much we care and are committed to security here in Europe. And to be able to be here at this seaport, to work not only with my friends in the U.S. military, but also all the great professionals in the Dutch military and the commercial, the local industry here from the terminal, and work together like this. It's a great feeling, and it's going very well.
At the same time, 1,700 U.S. troops from another unit were returning to the U.S. via Rotterdam Port with 80 Black Hawk, Apache, and Chinook helicopters. Making sure kids are well fed so they can focus on academics. What a local church is slipping in backpacks to help those attending school right across the street succeed.
This continues to be a rescue mission at this time.
In a matter of minutes, it all came down. A New Orleans hotel falling to the ground over the weekend. What authorities say happened as search efforts continue for a worker believed to still be trapped in the rubble.